Hey, Court, can you hear me? I can hear. Hold on, I gotta get my glasses on. You just heard me. Okay. Good, good. Oh, your physics students. Should I give them the Tom Corcoran rundown briefly? Because I think you had your AP class in there yesterday when I talked about Tom Corcoran. Let me just say briefly that your teacher, I know he dresses kind of dorky and he kind of looks like a frumpy middle-aged man, but what you should know is that your teacher is the best amateur baseball player I've ever played with, and I've been playing for 25 years. I've been playing a long time. So tell you students what I told his AP class. There's probably some baseball players in there, and they probably think, oh, I could take this old man. Let me assure you, you could not. I hope you leave your class today with newfound respect for your geeky physics teacher. Back to what's going on down here. We start in about 10 minutes. Got a lot of wind today. I think it's going to wreak havoc with the stream. But we'll do our best. They've seen your badminton skills? I haven't seen your badminton skills. How you doing? How you doing, man? I've seen Cork's pickleball skills. He's a good pickleball player. I'd say very good. I mean, he can beat me, but he's also like 15 years my younger. He's good at racquetball as well. Yeah, I know there's lots of wind, Cork. I don't know what to do. I guess I'll just have to speak louder, which really isn't in my nature. I have a tendency to want to speak softer, but I'll try to speak louder. What are EG's 2 keys to winning the game? Well, I can tell you that this team we're going to face today, the Tulsa Biscuits, have a lot of strapping guys, a lot of well put together guys. They have a deep roster. I mentioned on the stream yesterday that when I look at the opposing dugout before these games, I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking for athletic looking guys, not necessarily big softball players, because those guys, they can hit the ball far but not over the fences down here. So what I worry about are the players who are still in fighting trim, and then I worry about big rosters. When you have those 2 things, typically you have a really strong team, and we have both of those things today in the Biscuits. So I would say, I mean, this is going to be really generic and pretty lame, but if I had to say the keys to the game, we've got Nate Jackson pitching. We haven't seen Nate Jackson pitch with a Mammoth. I know he's had some arm issues in the past couple of years. So I suppose the first key to the game would be that Nate Jackson, has command of his pitches and has enough on his pitches to at least keep us within spitting distance of what I suspect will be a very good offense. And then I'd say the second key of the game is we're going to need to see contributions from some of the deeper rostered players on this Mammoth squad. We're trying to work in a couple of guys who haven't played much at this tournament. We have to get everybody 2 games worth of exposure in order for them to be playoff eligible. So I know the bottom of the lineup today might be a little thin relative to what we put out there in the past. For instance, I'm adding number 9 today. It's the weakest 9 hitter we've had. So I guess the second key for us to winning is we need, I guess, some of the guys who aren't necessarily featured players on this team to contribute. What's the record? What's the pitching plan? Yeah, so we are 2-1. We're 2-1. Mammoth are. This team is, I think, We don't know the outcome of their game last night. I suspect they're 2-0-1. This team tied with Lakeville, who beat us 2-1 in 13 innings. They currently are they're probably tied for first place with Lakeville. I'll run through the tournament stuff when maybe at the top of the first inning when we have a few more viewers maybe and the game gets started. Why don't we take a walk around the field and take the temperature of the team again. It's windy and chilly, and you're going to have to deal with some wind today. Not much I can do about the wind. So here we go. It's Nate Jackson warming up. Nate, a long time. TC, maybe I'll pitcher. Not a lot on that pitch, but it's early. Getting loose. Like I said, Nate's had some arm issues. We'll see what kind of stuff he has. Nate used to be he threw a heavy fastball. I should really go take some cuts. I'm gonna have to hand this off to somebody briefly because I actually have to swing the bat today, and I haven't swung a bat in a week, which is about the longest I've gone without swinging a bat in maybe 5 years. You physics students will discover that as you get older, you have to work harder to keep up with younger players. I'm going to find, I don't know who to ask to take this. I may set this down for a little bit.
You know what sucks, Pat? Was it? You know what sucks?
I don't really want to, I could shut it down, I guess, and come back. I could skip the swings too. What to do. You can see the guys are hitting plyo balls down here. Plyo balls are weighted plastic balls. You can't hit them far, and if you don't hit the center of their mass, I mean, Cork, this would be a good teachable moment. Explain to them why you need to hit the center of the mass with these plyo balls to be successful with them. If you don't hit them in the center of their mass, they kind of go oblong and they don't go anywhere. So they're very heavy. Maybe you guys are talking like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle today in class. So there's not a lot of application, quantum physics and plyo balls. Nate Stark, winning pitcher yesterday. Diamond Dan, fashionable in his white pullover. It's Pat Ralston running out. Casey Johnson writing the team name Minnesota Mammoth into the dust on the wall of this backdrop. I'm gonna hand Casey the phone. I think we're gonna have to wrap up. I'm sorry here. I'm not gonna get any hits. I should really let other people do it anyway. I am a bit player. We'll stay on camera until the game starts, so we'll just keep this bad boy running. Casey Johnson. Casey has gone on the record saying he's not necessarily an endorser or an advocate for these plyo balls. I really like them. When you miss-hit them, you do that. You probably can't tell on camera, but there's one. Kind of turns into a UFO in flight versus that, which is more of a cannonball. It's coming our way. It's good to get some swings in, as anybody who plays knows. It's tough down here because, well, I heard the gasp of appreciation behind us. We missed it though. It's tough down here because most of these fields don't have cages that we can access. They also don't want you doing any kind of infield work before the game on these infields because this is a major league complex.
Morning, Tom.
How you doing, Billy?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good, good, good. So you got to kind of sneak in your pregame stuff where you can. In this case, it was in the corner of right field. Winning pitcher yesterday, the Sheriff, Nate Stark.
Feel good.
Feeling good. Confident smile. There's the acting manager for the Mammoth when we're down here, Matt Grill. Randy Schmidt. Just talked to Randy this morning. He's back in Minneapolis, probably watching. Hi, Randy. Of course, Randy would like to be down here. Of course, we'd like him in the lineup. Of course, we will do our best without him. It's Mike Lippert, still moving. Somewhat remarkable considering the man has caught 27 innings in 2 days.
I got a job for you.
What's that?
This time.
What's that?
Figure out what time the game starts.
Oh, I can do that.
So we know the 3-hour time limit.
I will do that.
It's always hard to catch that, but
Fair enough.
I feel like the last 3 games we've been like, how much time we got left?
Yeah.
But
We
they've all
used-
been too tight too. We got to not worry about that.
Well, I'll write it down. What
Yeah.
Kenny and I would do is we'd write it down.
Put it on the book. Yeah, that's good. That's all. Otherwise, just do your other job. You're
Yeah.
Selling at it.
Yeah. There's Pat Hanlon. Pat Hanlon with the energy of a golden retriever just rescued from the pound. Pat was kind of holed up in a second-rate Arizona motel dealing with COVID. Worried that he wasn't going to get on in this tournament at all. But the symptoms have abated. He looked at the CDC guidelines, determined that based on the onset of his symptoms, he's good to join the team. You can see he's maintaining a respectful distance from his teammates. Firm jawline. And a determined stare, gazing into the middle distance, pondering his existence. The vagaries of life that brought him here. The mayor of Hopkins. Oh, I'm talking a little bit about Pat Hanlon.
Oh, no. Been holed up in a Latinta Inn for 5 days.
Yeah. You're ready to go.
Dark
Suffice
hotel
to say.
room, so let's see how this goes.
Yeah. There's the irrepressible Diamond Dan Casaza. A stream favorite, at least this streamer's favorite. Pat is sporting some patriotic arm sleeves, but they're not red, white, and blue. They're gray.
talk about
They got stars and stripes.
Yeah.
How about
We're not going to be able to hear that. Let's walk down the line. Diamond,
What's up?
are we feeling peppy?
I mean, I'm not a morning person,
And it is morning.
but I feel pretty good.
I think Lip may be getting the day off for catching this damn camera. Are you not catching?
I'm not playing anymore.
Oh wow.
The opportunity presented itself for me to take a so
All right.
and I know if I hit, I'll just go run around.
It's much deserved.
Like the ball dog yesterday, that one like
Brian the Condor
There wasn't
Bushman.
so much height and it was a more level rip. That would be the kind of ball that would bounce.
Got the wingspan of a condor.
Let's go, boys.
Let's maybe get in this huddle.
We're playing real baseball today? Oh, cool. Real baseball with emergency runners.
I said a prayer last night. That's what we do.
Grill made a tree.
That guy was like, well, that's not what we agreed upon at first.
I'm like, that's not the rule.
That dude was kind of a dick too, though.
Hey, let's go. Bring it in. Let's go.
Hey, boys, let's have some fun here.
Today.
Do our thing. Let's go.
Win and we play.
Just play, boys.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3, win.
Let's
Let's
go.
go, boys. Just that.
You got the...
Damn it. It doesn't matter what we say.
Okay, so we got a few more viewers. I'll mention we have a lot of wind today. I see a lot of sleeves. It's 57 degrees. I've been coming down here for 10 years. This is one of the cooler days I've experienced. There's also some rain in the forecast. Possibly you can see the color of the sky in the background. Kind of a dingy gray. If that rolls in over the mountains, we may get some rain. I hope not, because they really pack the games tightly into these fields, and I suspect if we get rain, we have to stop for any appreciable amount of time. We'll just lose the game. But seen a lefty on the mound. This warm-up pitch had some pop. I'm gonna slide the chat back so you can see that. Hey, Case, when I bat, can I use your helmet and bat? Is that okay?
How my batting goes?
No, I got those.
Cleats.
No, I got my rubber cleats. Kind of a long, loose limb lefty on the mound. This guy kind of has the release of a guy whose fastball comes in at you faster than you're expecting. It's kind of a low effort release, but he's got the long arms. It's a curveball, loopy curveball. Is this a slider? Is that what that sign is, or the fastball? It's curveball again. So we've seen a fastball, curveball. Here's a fastball. Maybe sidearm. Yeah. Drops down to 3/4 like Matt Meyer. It's a good fastball. Yeah, like most of the pitching down here, we haven't seen a lot of gumdrops coming in. Not a lot of Zeppelins.
It was 80 last week.
Most of the pitches have some zip on them. We're in a higher division this year. I think everybody watching knows the breakdown on that. Tulsa comes in 2-0-1. I'm assuming they beat the Utah Dodger team last night. So let's call them 2-0-1. The Mammoth are 2-1. Tulsa's tie came against Lakeville. What's that?
Can I grab your phone for a second?
Yes, you go. It's 8817. I think.
Did you hear that right? They got rained out yesterday. That's why the game was not posted.
They got rained out there.
I could have sworn that the catcher was just talking to the umpire, and that's what he said. He said it rained for like 8 minutes, and then they called the game. So I wonder if they're going to have to play 2 tomorrow.
Or they may cancel that game. I just was saying, I don't know that they have the flexibility to reschedule games down there.
I don't know. That's kind of what I gathered.
Wow. There were some foreboding clouds last night, and I talked to Dan Cameron, who lives down here. He said that when it rains, it's kind of the popcorn shower variety. It's kind of a scattered presence when the rain rolls in here, and that if you're in one of those pockets, you're going to get wet. But we didn't see any rain last night where we were, but this is a sprawling metro area, so it wouldn't surprise me if some place got enough rain that they hopper to the first baseman. It's first out. We're in the top of the first. Mammoth against Tulsa. Wouldn't surprise me if there were some isolated showers last night. I think they are very protective of these fields. I suspect the grounds crews and major league organizations have instructed this tournament that we're not allowed to do anything that would do any kind of damage to these mounds. I mean, they really don't. I'm sure we're paying a decent amount of money to play on these fields, but of course their primary customer, there's a base hit from Dahl to right center. Dahl's been hot. A couple hits yesterday, including a booming double to left. Dolly also had a really strong start, second game of the tournament. Let the Mammoth hang around long enough until we were able to post 7 runs in the 5th, I believe it was. And then we never looked back. And on first, 1 out, top of the first, no score. Nate Stark. The fastball doesn't look too difficult. It doesn't have that sizzle that we've seen. Certainly for Matt Meyer, but also for some of the other harder throwers we've seen. We're in the Mountain Division this year. Mountains allow ex-pros. I know this team has at least one ex-pro. Lakeville was talking about him. Apparently they knocked him out of the game pretty early. He was pitching.
Never know.
Curveball. Left fielder comes in a long way and makes the catch, 2 outs. Got Nate Stark out on his front foot on that curveball. I gotta find out. Oh, I gotta know. I'm supposed to write down the time as well. Let's see what time it is. It's 9:43, so I bet we started about something like 9:40. 9:38. It's 9:38. Casey was on my left shoulder studying this guy in his warm-ups, seeing what he threw. I see some guys doing that more than other guys. I do that even in CSUN and BL, even guys I've seen pitch many times. There isn't all that much differentiation between pitches sometimes on this level. It's a good fastball. Casey turns it around, right center, gets over the right fielder's head, goes all the way to the wall. This is going to be a triple. He might. Guy's just picking it up, bobbles it. I think Casey's. Oh, look at Casey run. How about that?
How? Wait. How fast? Oh, I know. How fast was Casey running at the end? Like 50%. He was dead, dude.
Did you even call that running? At the end from third to home?
On the case on what?
Casey needs oxygen.
Man, when he was going to third, I'm like, oh, he's gassed.
Oh, yeah.
So glad we have the final leg of the relay home.
Bushy and Sievert.
He was taking approximately 7 steps per 5. Bushy, I think.
If he would have angled that, probably would have helped.
So I heard Billy talking about the angle the right fielder took. That was a barreled line drive to right field. I would say the right fielder,
That was good.
stockier build. I don't think he's necessarily very fast. I didn't think the line he took was that bad. The ball really carried, though, as it will do down here. Cleared his outstretched glove, rolled all the way to the wall. It is a question who was slower, the right fielder running to the ball or Casey running to the bases. It was third baseman bobbles, turns, fires, recovers, gets you out. Good recovery. At any rate, Casey clears the right fielder's glove. Inside the park home run for Casey Johnson. That's Casey's first extra base hit. It's not his first barreled ball. He's hit the ball hard.
I'm sorry, bud.
Good start for the Mammoth. We watched this team play Lakeville, and they struck me as a very good team. So that's a good start. Now, watching Nate warm up, I saw him in the early stages of the warm up, but there was not a lot of velocity. Nate's biggest tool this game proved to be his moxie. His bulldog demeanor out there. You know, the other thing about slower throwers, and we've seen this in the Federal League, sometimes you can neutralize better hitters with softer throwers. Not necessarily neutralize them, but it's not the case that the slower the pitcher, the easier it is to hit always. Sometimes some guys they struggle with slower pitching. You train yourself to be really quick through the baseball. And with these slower pitchers, I've heard major leaguers say that they actually start their load later when they're facing guys who lack elite or even major league velocity, if they're below average velocity. And I don't know how many amateur hitters are going to make that kind of adjustment. But when you're facing a guy who throws relatively fast for our level, it's very easy to think quick. Like when I'm up there against hard throwers, I'm thinking little more than just, getting those hands to the ball quick. Being really short with my waist, short to the ball. And when you got a ball that's got some loop on it, a little gumdrop coming in, everything's got to start later if you're going to stay that quick. What you have a tendency to do is you start your swing, you start everything up at about the same time, and then you got to kind of slow everything down because the pitch isn't getting to you in the place with the speed that you're expecting. It turns into kind of a lengthened, oftentimes lazy casting swing as opposed to that short explosive swing. So that, elite hitters make the adjustment. Tom Corcoran, for instance, his students might be interested to know that he doesn't have a problem with slower pitching. This is not a fastball with a lot of sizzle. Let's see how these hitters react to that. I faced Nate when he pitched for the Brewers. Skeeters overlapped with the Brewers in 28 plus for a number of years. It's ball 4. A little high. Hits are hard. Randy mentioned that Jack's pitched for the Brewers down here, the Cardinals down here, and that he was almost as good as Grill. Probably threw harder than Grill. When he had his arm, when he had a healthy arm, he was a fearsome presence. I remember. Oh, good move. They got him picked off. Let's see if Nate can make the throw. Easy throw down, easy tag. He's out. Nice move by Nate Jackson. That moxie I was talking about. Walks the first batter, then he races him with some quick feet. 1 out, bottom of the first. Mammoth up 2-0, thanks to an inside the park home run from Casey Johnson. kind of eases that fastball in there. Pitch looked a little high, but got the call. I think I'm missing some of the play.
Nice pitch.
I'll say what I always do at the start of these streams. There's a second stream going. Dan Casaza, you can find it if you go onto social media. There you'll get a nice clean shot from behind home plate. No commentary. But Dan does swing by fairly frequently, I think, and keep you updated on the score in the inning, which I know really helps. There's a pop-up. Pat Hanlon, his debut behind the plate in this tournament. Came back on him. Had that backspin, brought it back, but dropped right in front of the dugout. Pat couldn't make the catch. Very tough play. Talked a little bit about Pat Hanlon, the mayor of Hopkins. Came down here on Saturday, caught COVID. Has been squirreled away in a cheap hotel down here for the first part of the tournament. Symptoms have abated. CDC guidelines suggest he's okay to play, so he's out here playing. As I said before, the energy of a golden retriever that's been rescued from a shelter. Pat Hanlon. Pitch down. He went down and got it. Line drive. Billy had him shaded well to the right side of second base. It might have been a double had Billy not correctly, I think, recognized that with the velocity that these hitters are looking at, definitely want to shade pretty aggressively to the hitter's side of second base. Defensively, we've got Mark Hoyland at third, Matt Grill at short, Mike Dahl at second, Nate Stark at first. Man on first, one out. Bottom of the first. Left field, it looks like, I think that's Scott Sievert. No, that's Diamond Dan in left. Billy in center, Billy Houseman, Billy Baseball, and then here's a little nubber out in front of the plate. Flips it to first base, gets the second out. That's 2 outs. And then in right field, we have Brian Bushman, the beard. Two down, bottom of the first. Mammoth up 2-0. Got a biscuit runner on second base. Tulsa Biscuits. We were speculating in the car ride home last night, knowing that we were going to have kind of a cold day, whether this cold weather would give us some kind of advantage. Presumably, Oklahoma doesn't play mid-50s much, whereas we play in it all the time down back home in the spring and then often in the fall as well. But, you know, I suggested some kind of splitter, I think.
Way up, here we go.
I suggested that we don't presume that Tulsa would have an advantage over us if it's 100 degrees. I question. I think it's harder to play in the cold than the heat. So I guess if I had to say one was going to influence a team, I would think the cold would influence Tulsa negatively more than the heat would influence us, because we play in hot conditions as well.
Yeah, good pitch, here we go.
Nate gave a little smile there. I think he wanted that corner. It's not too bad. The wind's died down. Clouds have moved in though. Another chopper. There is a very easy toss. See Jax coming in. Confidence we've come to expect from Nate Jackson on display that inning. How are we looking there, Pat? Yeah. Gonna have to be kind of a mixture, isn't it? Yeah. So 2 things, Casey. Number 1, when I bat, can I hand this off to you?
Yeah.
And then number 2, what happened?
Just got a hit. Happy to get a hit. Something
my second or third this week, so I'm hoping to have a strong second half.
Not your second or third well hit ball though, right? I mean, you've been hitting the ball well. You've
Oh,
been
yeah,
hitting it on the ground.
For a second there, I thought you were saying that was my only well hit ball.
No.
Got
You've
a
been hitting the
nice
ball
single
hard.
yesterday.
Yeah. And,
No, I've
and
hit some balls hard, but
you barreled the ball,
I have people.
right?
And I just hope, like last year, I had a really good start to this tournament and then kind of cooled off. Hoping to kind of flip that this year.
Have you caught your breath yet?
No. But I don't feel like I'm gonna puke right now.
Which it will be.
So that's a step
And the
up.
zones
Right.
drops not big. I took one of the corners. A strike yesterday.
We got
A reminder with this wind, when if right field gets beat at all, get out there. That throw's going to be straight into the teeth of the wind.
Line up, see when I've got a bat. When am I up?
start.
Yeah, great start.
You're up 4th.
Okay. I'm gonna hand this camera off and maybe 2 hitters. Yeah, I gave it. Casey said he'll do it. At some point, I'll give it to you. I don't care who does it. Okay, back to action. I'm up 4th this inning. I think Pat. I think Pat.
Get something better.
So Scotty Stevert steps to the plate. We're in the top of the second. We're up 2-0. Scotty's hit some hard balls this tournament. It's got a fastball.
Make him bring it.
Pitcher asking where that pitch was. Inviting the umpire to respond. It was in. I believe the umpire accepted the invitation. It's kind of a broken, would have been a broken bat. Liner to right had he had a non-bomb, I think. If he was swinging a regular bat, that one got in underneath the trademark. Little pooch line drive to second base. Second baseman converts the out. 1 out. There's that wind again. It's got to be awful to listen to. My goodness. I'm gonna have to hand this off after this. In fact, I'm going to give it off right now. There's going to be some transition, some handoffs going on in this game because I'm going to have to bat a little bit at least. But yep. I'm going to give this to Casey.
Go, Danny. Stay hot, baby.
And you get a guy like. Yeah.
That's this.
That guy didn't really take a very good angle on that ball either.
No, he was going to catch it.
Yeah. And it floated over.
And I was like, don't catch it.
You stung that thing, and the wind's pushing out too, so that was all good.
So we got Dan Smolik up.
His childhood buddy. Going for the mess in the office. What the hell is that? Sid Fernandez. Okay. He had Sid Fernandez.
We got 2 down.
Warm up. I don't know where that is. We found
Pat Hanlon coming up to bat. Former Grays player. Grays are down here as well in the Cactus division. 1-2-1, I think, is their record right now. Pat's first at bat here of the tournament. I wouldn't, I think I would scout Pat to hit something right to second base side. With a left-handed pitcher kind of working the outside part of the plate. That's what I'd expect.
We have 3 guys named Dan. I mean, I'm C's.
Let's go, Pat! I'm going to have to get rid of mine.
Gonna scoot over a little bit. Try to find the best angle here for you guys. So Jack's looked pretty good that first inning. I suspect that that's unusual. Good walk there. I think that's like 4 pitches. Tom G coming up for his first at bat of the tournament. I'm not even sure if that's true. I think it is. I suspect that a lot of these teams have seen faster pitching. Everything I've seen down here so far, I haven't seen any thumbers, so Jax is a different look out there with crafty, veteran, but slower. I see in the chat here Randy saying crafty. Probably not the first one to mention that. All right, so here's Tom G. And Tom G will lead off the inning as Pat gets thrown out at 2. Strong throw from the catcher, but I think he must have been going after that ball was in the dirt, because he probably beats it if he's taken off right away. That a lot of time spent picking that ball up and stuff. Might need to pick up Jax. Yeah.
Right out of the frame there. Just not ready to do baseball at this point.
What?
I got a couple pitches to look at. This is I regripped it.
Yeah, I'm not out there. They're giving me another rest. Do you want to think about hitting?
I'd like to kind of work that.
So I've got some relief in the field spelling me. I'm still catching my breath. Tom G is going to get ready for his at bat with Diamond's device. Diamond's a man of tools, baseball tools. He's a 5-tool player and a 5-tool training set. Whether it's weighted balls or that goofy bat, I don't know. That's not really for me, but I appreciate him bringing that stuff down here, because you can't really take your standard BP. There's no cages here. There's no BP before the games, so all of a sudden you're out there with these goofy weighted balls or little yellow balls or whatever. So we got Smolik at first, giving Stark a break.
No, there's no mistake. I love him all to death. JP plays with him, chasing the ball.
You know what, I will try to get behind the dugout a little bit more. It's probably 58, 60 degrees here today. Turned on a foul ball there. So I haven't seen Jax throw in a few years. We spent a little time on the Richfield Rockets together, and I think Nate started 2 games for them and threw complete games. This was 2020, the COVID year. So we decided to each get some work with the Rockets, and Nate won both of the games that he pitched. And when you're winning games for the Rockets, you're pitching pretty good. Nice play by Hoyland over there. Mark, former Giants player, the 18-plus TCM ABL, does some pitching. I think he's more of a pitcher than a position player, but I don't know a whole lot about Mark yet, but that was a great play. I think if we can continue to play defense, which the Mammoth tend to do pretty well. Oh, shit. Nobody's going to make this play. Oh. So he did beat it out. Jax took it right off of his body somewhere. Line drive. Grill's going to go figure out what happened, where it hit him. Hopefully he can continue to go. The hitter's asking, "Where'd that get you, man?" With his Tulsa accent. Tulsa gentleman. Checking in on Nate. He's coming over to sign the bruise.
Rub it for him.
And Nate will take a couple of warm-ups here.
Throw him that pitch again.
All right, so we'll let Nate warm up. See what kind of conversation we can capture on our walk by. Lip's taking a little break here, resting the legs. He's caught every inning so far. Okay, we got Hanlon's back for the first time today, so we can finally give the man a break after 2 years of catching down here for the Mammoth. Casaza gave him a little break last year, but we've been in some really close games so far, so we needed expert catching back there. We haven't had a whole lot of chances to single through the middle. We haven't had a lot of chances to just kind of empty the bench and not go after teams. A lot of close games, extra innings, all that stuff. So I don't know how well the Voyagers keep stats, but look like Jax threw about 7 innings for him this summer. I don't know how much work he gets on the side, practicing with the pub or playing with the pub at all, or any other number of random teams that Jax seems to find himself on. So runner on first and second. We're in the second inning. Bottom of second. I think we have one out. There you go. Front side close, stay in is what the runner on first is saying. Here we got a bouncer to Dahl, who gets the tag.
Good play.
No tag. He's saying he did not see the tag. Dahl gave a little swipe at him. I hit the first base hump in my way. We've got a little sprinkles starting to come. Two outs. Runner on second and third. Nice attempt by Dahl to get the double play there. That would have been huge. But back to my comment about first base. Runner on first talking about great play. So Grilly coming across the diamond, picked it up, threw a little wide of Dan over there, and Dan couldn't quite get a reach on it to snag that one. And as a result, unfortunately, we got 2 runs to score, so we'll tie game here in the bottom of the second. Anyway, forget my point. Forget my comment from earlier. All I'm saying is they're making a point that Jax is pitching a little slower than what they're used to, and so far they haven't really got that timing down yet, and it's been effective. Not as effective when you have a guy like me throwing as hard as Jax, because I can't make a baseball do anything out there. But Jax is a veteran pitcher who can put a little Bardall on the ball. Or so there's, why wasn't the runner going? Well, maybe he was. Second and third on a ball that dropped in front of Casazzo right down the left field line. From here it looked foul, but must have been right on the line. Got Bushy out in right, Houseman in center, Casazza in left, Smolik at first, Dahl at second, Grill at short, Mark Hoyland at third, Hanlon catching, Jack's on the mound. Bottom of 2, 2-2. 2 outs. 2 batters up and 3 batters. 2 batters. I'll double check on that, Randy, but I thought there's 2 runners on that scored. So now we got 1 run in, and
Is that 3-2?
this is 3-2. 2 outs. All 3 runners have scored or 2 outs. Now we're back at the leadoff. Saw this guy on day 1, pretty fast runner, but then he did get hit in the kneecap by a Matt Meyer fastball, so that might have slowed him down a step. You guys are probably hearing the wind. Pretty strong wind right now. Strong wind with some sprinkles. It's like spring in Minnesota. Nice play by Dahl and a flip to Grill to get out of the inning. So they do score 3 in the bottom of the second. 3-2 Tulsa after 2 full innings. And we'll see if we can get the bats going again.
Yeah, the risk reward ratio would not have been so high.
Because I did.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm ready.
Bill Hausman ready to
Hey, let's go, baby!
eat some innings for us.
Let's go. Nice play, Mark. That was awesome. Good job, Jack.
Yeah, good job, Mark.
I had a hard time seeing it on your hand with the backdrop, and then I was over here.
Grill and Smolik discussing where things went wrong on that bouncer up the middle. That Grill came across the middle on, kind of flipped it over to Dan, and it was Grill's thrown a lot of innings here and thrown a lot of balls from shortstop. I know that his arm is pretty tired. He's just so valuable over there at shortstop that it's tough to give him a break. And all these games have been so close that we just, like I said, we just keep fighting. I think Bill might be in the pen. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Matt. So Matt's knee is kind of bothering him, Randy. And he can run, he can hit, but he can't really push off with his pitching. So he did throw 1 inning for us in game, 1. And yeah, Casey's in the pen. I may get some innings. But anyway, I don't know if Matt's knee is going to allow him to pitch. So here's Teg, Tom G, 25-year veteran. Actually, it might just be 23. So Tom's one of the few guys. You know how Dave Winfield was one of the last guys to wear the flapless ear helmet. Trying to think who else would have been that type of guy, but Tom's one of the last guys to wear the baseball hat under the helmet. You can see it peeking out. Kind of looks like a 10-year-old up there. He's our oldest guy, and in some ways our youngest guy. He's always got food on his face. It looks like he just got done with a bowl of SpaghettiOs. I've told him like 2 or 3 times this trip, hey, before you go talk to Tom with the leadoff walk, and I believe Grill will pinch run for him. I think they're like AB. Poor guy just needs a break though. So Tom had to go check in with Sigler, Steve Sigler, the president of the MABL. And I had to tell him, go stop in the bathroom first and just clean your face up a bit. You look like my son. So here's Mark Hoyland. I think it's Mark's second at bat of the tournament. And Mark hasn't had playing time since our first game against Lakeville. So he's been out a couple games. But made a nice play last inning at third base. So far, 0-2 count. Runner on first. Smolik is the pinch runner for Tom G. I think Tom saw 4 pitches. 6 pitches because he saw 2 last inning before Hanlon got thrown out. So he's coming over. He's got a big smile on his face. And I will pass it back off to Tom G. Let's see what Mark does here first. I'll hold on to it for a second. All right, Mark's turning an 0-2 count into an at bat. Well, ooh, how about that? Hoyland has just ripped one down the third baseline. Third baseman actually made a great play to get a glove on that. Otherwise, that's a double down the line. But we got first 2 runners on first and second. Dan Casaza back at the top of the order. I think I will hand this off so that I can just kind of get my head on straight. But, yeah, you know, one of the first things I said, Tom, about when I got back in was my legs felt like Rob Jones's looked on his last 90 feet of his inside the park home run in Palm Springs. I was just trying to stay upright. I kept waiting for Pat to just, he's waving me around. I just kept waiting for him to finally put the brakes on and be like, look, you're out of gas here. I don't think you're making it. We're sending you back to third, big guy. But I don't hit too many triples or homers. Inside the park, anyway. I don't hit any outside the park either. But now this guy here. So there's a funny clip on Twitter with Tooth or whatever I forget what his real name is. Yeah. From the Saints. And compared to a Mike Tyson's fight, and the whole fight lasted as long as it took Tooth to get around the bases. And I'm sure I could get Minor to make some fun of how long it took me to get around those bases or something.
It's okay, Thomas. The middle of the sentence.
Wes Hansen, right. All right, so bases are juiced, as my son Leo would say. Got Stark over there getting hitting his practice swing so hard.
That's it?
Finish the sentence to me and I just run over
Yeah,
the
then you
back.
did it too. Everyone's ignoring me. It's okay. I'm still like myself.
I mean, you're the mayor. Everybody likes you.
Hanlon's just happy to be out in public. after quarantining himself for the last 3-4 days. So they're juiced for one of our hottest hitters right now, Mike Dahl. Mike's just done a really good job of hitting line drives into the outfield this tournament. Oh man, could we use one here? I think Dan's been hit by a pitch at least 3 times. Some people just have a knack for that. Ludi's another one. He likes to get hit by pitches. Had a guy on my town ball team, Ben Schmidt, out of Prior Lake. He'd have like 8 hit by pitches a year, and everybody else would have 1 or 0.
Kind of warmed me up.
And there's, I was batting yesterday. There's probably 2 or 3 balls that I just kind of avoided, where someone who's better at getting hit by those pitches just finds a way to get hit by those pitches. And okay, that is a ball into the gap, and we are getting 2 runners in, and we got runners on first and second. Dolly comes through again. I'm gonna hand this off to Tom G.
Thank you, Casey.
Yeah.
Are we tied up? Do you know? So we think it's 4-3 them? We think the score is 4-3 them. Maybe Casey had a score.
So what's your excuse for going down?
Bases loaded, nobody out. Case, you know the score? 4-3? You don't know, do you? Was it 4-2?
3-2, I think.
So we're up 4-3?
So now I think it's 4-3.
Us?
The city.
4-3 us?
I think so.
Yeah.
I need a break from the people.
Top of the second? Third.
You little humans.
Yeah, top of the third.
Good cut.
Good fastball.
14. Here we go.
So now that I've faced this guy, I can give you Casey probably gave you a first-hand scouting report already.
Break him down.
I saw 4 fastballs off the plate. In my first at bat when Pat got thrown out, I saw 2 pitches, but I saw one pretty good darting slider curveball that broke in on my back foot. Bases loaded, top of the third. We think the score is 4-3 Mammoth. I'll get a confirmation on that. High fastball.
I get that the 07
It's pretty good speed. One thing I'll say about today with this overcast sky, I find at least that it's a good curveball. Maybe change up. One thing I'll say though about this overcast sky, I find that it's really hard for me to see the baseball on bright days. When you get these overcast days, pick the ball up much better, and then on top of that you have that massive batter's eye in center field, so it feels like a hitter's paradise down here with these fields, especially when you've got this overcast. Casey Johnson. Casey hit an inside the park home run last at bat. Barreled the ball to right field, beat the right fielder. Good cut.
Good cut.
Casey's power typically is not to right field. I think he was probably, the barrel was a little late through the zone. When he hits the ball hard, it's to left center. But he's also so good at putting barrels on baseballs. The ball, good take. Looks like they have somebody warming up in their bullpen. Right-hander. One out, bases loaded. Oh, ring him off. Casey says a little out as he walks back to the dugout. It's pitcher Nate Jackson. I missed a lot of Nate's last inning because I was trying to get loose. There's an awful wind. More than a baby's breath today. This is a blowhard's breath today. Hinkle breath. Catcher with the Dodgers yesterday. We see the Dodgers after this game. A lot to say about the Dodgers next stream. Here we have the bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 3rd. I believe the Mammoth are up 4-3.
Big hit here. Barrel on the back.
There's a shot to center, but it's right at him. Backpedals, lifts the glove up, catches it well over his head. Barrel baseball from Nate with the bases loaded. Let's hope that doesn't come back to haunt us. If he hits that anywhere but at a fielder, it's at least a triple, I think. Maybe a double. Well, it's a well, depends on which side of the field he hits it on, I suppose. So let's go get a score. Temperature of the dugout. Zoom down.
We already had top.
3-3.
Score's 3-3. Okay.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Didn't score any. That's hashtag not good.
That was unfortunate. You know, if he hits that anywhere but at a fielder, it's empties the bases. Right, right. So I was happy to draw a walk. I don't like facing lefties. I should as a righty. I would say my role in this team is to play a Bartleby the Scrivener character. I think we have a retired creative writing teacher in the audience, and she may appreciate that reference. My typical reaction when asked or commanded to take a bat is I would prefer not to. Let this one die down. And that goes doubly so when there's a hard throwing lefty on the mound, but I have to get playoff eligible on the off chance that we just have this spate of hamstrings. We need someone in there in the playoffs. So I went against my natural inclination just to stand behind this camera. Got up there and did something that helped the team, which feels really good. There's a shot, right field foul. My satisfaction level is not commensurate with the accomplishment. I mean, a walk deserves, good work, good job. I'm looking for something like a statue. Not really. You hit a certain age, foul ball on the right field line. You just don't trust your reaction time anymore. I mean, I take a lot of swings. I would wager maybe up to a paycheck that I swing the bat more than anybody on this team. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I do swing the bat a lot. So biomechanically, everything's there, but my reaction time is slowed, so I just lack confidence out there. At any rate, there's a fly ball to right. I think that's going to be foul. That wind is taking it. That's foul ball. I think it was off the fence in that corner. He got that up in the wind. If the wind is blowing, I would say from left to right. Jax is giving him something like an attaboy. Don't do that again. Exchange a laugh. We're not seeing the acrimony that we saw yesterday in our game against the Dodgers. A lot of chirping. I would say it was mostly instigated by one player on the Dodgers, but we had a couple guys chirping back. So there's a strike. So Nate comes back. The guy hits a very long foul ball. Nate Jackson comes back with that moxie of his, strikes him out, 1 out. This guy's put together 45, high-waisted, clapping his hands. Here's a man who was comfortable in the batter's box. Takes a strike on the outer half. We're getting some sprinkles. Now, we heard a report that this Tulsa team, you probably heard it on the stream earlier. There's a line drive right at Casey Johnson at second. Stands there, mixture of astonishment and disgust as 45. Makes his way back to the dugout. Godspeed, 45. Now we move to a Titan, number 33, a strapping 6'4". So we heard a report that this team got rained out last night, and I would expect that if we got any appreciable amount of rain, they'd shut this game down as well. We're getting some sprinkles right now. Chance of rain between now and 1 o'clock our time is anywhere between 40 and 60, 40 and 70%. None of us are really sure what happens in the case of a rain out. Maybe if Ludy's on the stream, he can share his experiences with the Cardinals. I don't know if they try to make him up or if they just win the game. Boy, this guy is turning on these pitches. I would not be surprised if Nate makes a mistake against this guy. You can see some. Lynn. I think that was a good pitch by Nate. I think this guy was leaning out over the plate and just trying to hook a ball over that right field fence. Came in under his hands, walked him. Maybe not the worst walk. He looks like a fearsome hitter. Score is 3-3. We are in the bottom of 3. That's right. Yes, 3-3, bottom of 3. It's a high fly to left. This wind's going to be problematic. Dan's coming a long way. Yep, dropped in front of him. That was just the wind. Dan down on one knee. Glove on the ground. Gathering himself. The wind just knocked that ball down. Dan had a long way to go. Looked like he had a beat on it, but it just kept dying on him. Landed a couple feet in front of him. There might be 2 outs. I should know this. A lot of, as I mentioned at the start, a lot of bigger, well put together hitters in this lineup. Really taking big swings against Nate, which you will do against this kind of pitching. It's why this kind of pitching can be effective. Even when you are on time, you're so geared up to smash it that you do what this guy did. You rip open early with the top half, roll over the baseball. If this is a field that Emery hit his home run at, it's got the fences, got the netting out there. pitch. Nate turns, throws. That's an out. Got the out. Great pitch. Took a little bit off that pitch. We saw what I suggested we might see. Took a big swing, and it resulted in a very soft hit. I think I'm at fourth again. I don't know. At some point I'll be pulled, but the walk might have won me a reprieve. I stepped into that box feeling a little bit like a platform diver suffering extreme gastrointestinal discomfort. What's that? Yeah. We stream for the people back home, like the parents and wives and stuff. So I don't do a lot of playing. I pretty much sit here and just describe what's going on. So it's great. Yeah, we're from Minnesota. Here's our umpire today.
Love Minnesota.
All right. It's warmer back home than it is here today. Yeah. I'll be ready. You want to do it?
Tommy, you want to do it?
Sure.
All right. We have Tommy Lippert doing the play-by-play. Here you go. So do you know how to do this? Just
Hold it like that.
Yeah, right. What you see here is what they're seeing at home. So try to get up on the fence
Okay.
and make sure you try to get the links out of the way.
Yeah, you don't want you want the camera not here, but and then just tell them what's going on.
So it's been a pretty good game. I think it's 2-2. Yeah. The score is 2-2, right? 3-3. Sorry, 3-3. Got Scotty up there. Can someone go get the bats for me? Hey, Dave, can you go get the bats? Scotty. That's a bat. Down 0-1.
Stream now, Tommy?
Yep.
It's the Tommy stream.
Yeah. So what happened on that ball?
Well, son, I thought I had it because it was blowing, it was right to me. But the wind's blowing really hard, as you can probably hear, and it just died. So I thought I had it, but I didn't have it. So
All right.
next time I got to run harder.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go, Danny. Let's go.
Dan Smolik. Up to bat. Down 0-1. The count. Windy day out here in Arizona. In Minnesota, it's probably warmer out there. Ground ball, second base. Oh, it got safe. Both people got safe there. Mr. Mayor up to bat. Pat Hamlin, Mayor of Hopkins. Ryan's in square position. No outs. He got one. Hey. Tom up to bat, one out. Mars on the corners.
Leave it out. Leave it low.
Tom got a single on his first at bat.
Come on, Tommy, come on! Get him! That away! Good work, good work!
Got a run in. Scotty just scored. Now Bill up to the plate. Bill had a pretty good day yesterday. I think it was 2 for 4. Had a pretty good single. I think had a double too. A ball? Count 0-1. Ziza's on deck. Bill gets on. Diamond Dan up to the plate. We all know what Diamond Dan does.
Good cut, good cut.
All right.
I like it, Bill. Let's go.
Bill now down in the count.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Good work. Good work. Okay, guys. Took the lead there. Just a perfectly executed squib ground ball to the second, to the shortstop side. And the batter had the presence of mind to run to first base. That's one of my favorite announcing tropes. Announcers like to talk how ball players have the presence of mind when they do something. Like make a diving play and then they have the presence of mind to get up and throw behind the retreating base runner. It's not presence of mind, that's just baseball, man. A few more raindrops. We're up 4-3. Staying ahead is important because I do feel, as I said before, if it rains, they could stop this game at any time. I think if it's an official game, if we're up, we're going to get the win.
Well, I'm cold and I'm from a lot further north than California.
The other side has a pitcher warming up again. I would expect to see him come in next inning. If he's the same guy who was warming up before, and I think he may be. 4-3 Mammoth. Bottom of 4. Pat Ralston throwing down to second. Pat somewhat famously makes that throw from his knees. Pat's a character. The team has missed Pat Hanlon, but Though the stream may not know it, the audience on the stream may not know it, you've missed Pat Allen as well. He's a real character. We'll try to make sure that Pat gets maybe not Bushy level screen time, but we'll get him make sure we get some commentary from Pat as this tournament goes on. Nate Jackson managing this lineup. Number 1 seems slightly less ready to unload with his swing. A little bit tighter approach, a little bit more patient. Pretty easy swing. That one ain't dull. The ball never really came off the turf until the end, and then it hopped up on the ball, hit the heel of his glove, squared it away. Runner first. Nobody out. Another big-bodied fellow. Got the high hands. I think he's going to have a pretty big looping swing, which is not necessarily a bad thing against this kind of pitching. We'll see though. Nate checks the runner. Runner's back. Bottom of 4th, I believe. The score is Mammoth 4, Tulsa 3. It's a ground ball in the hole. Really makes a nice stop. Base runner beats the throw to second though. Really nice play by Grilly. He went to the only base he had a chance. He had the out at that was second, but the guy on first base, unlike many of his teammates, is built lower to the ground. Little scooter out there. Slid underneath the throw, got his foot in there before the ball went into Casey's glove. I talked to this hitter yesterday, very briefly, or I guess it was Monday. I'd left my folder in their dugout. Could not have been a nicer guy. Seemingly just really nice guy. A massive individual as well. Here comes the rain. Well, I'll be around. I was going to say, if this game gets shortened, suspended or whatever, we'd have a second game later on this afternoon. Pitch up. Patient at bat from number 5. Well done. Bases loaded, nobody out. This is the worry, I think, when you're a pitcher like Jax and you get deeper into a game. I think hitters, second or third time through, take a slightly more contained approach. He did let that get deep. Oh, now he's falling. They're going to get 2. They're going to get 2. Oh, Grilly, the bare hand. Really unfortunate for number 3. Number 3 let that travel really deep, but as a result, ball really got in on his hands. Nate Jackson's limping. And you saw he fell out of the box. I think this might be 1 for Nate, holding his shoulder. Give Nate some time. I don't want to stick a camera in his face, but we'll find out in a little while what's happening. It's pretty evident. Investigatory journalism to tell you that Nate did something to his arm. But we'll talk to him later. I was saying, I think when you're facing a pitcher like Nate, there's a tendency to overswing, at least early on. pitches. He just let the ball travel too deep in that at bat. But I think it was the right idea. That's where I think a good idea is appropriate, even though the execution was atrocious. He tried to let the ball get deep and stay inside the ball. Did not execute and then toppled over his way out of the box. What a terrible feeling that is. You're on your hands and knees. Part of you just wants to stay on your hands and knees and make that slow U-turn and just kind of bear crawl back to the dugout because you know you're not going to get to first base. But he got up and he made the effort. So, coming in to pitch is Bill Hausman. Billy Baseball. Billy's done some pitching for the Lumberjacks in years past. A little bit of pitching for the Mammoth in the summer, but I think this rain is starting to pick up, as is the wind. I think Billy's worked on his pitching somewhat. I think he enjoys pitching. But I think he would tell you he falls in the position player pitchers category. Wow. Turn this camera around for a second. I think they're about ready to shut this down. I don't see any grounds people out here, but I'm surprised. See the trees blowing over there. Man, that's a cold north wind. Assuming it's a north wind. It's not a Sinatra-esque summer wind. It's a Charles Dickens north wind. This is terrible. I was saying I'm a little surprised that there aren't grounds people. Really protected with these fields. Say like around here, maybe not so much. Like just from field to field, it depends. Maybe. Yeah. That's Dan Cameron. He lives down here. He's a Minnesota transplant. Yeah. Like fastball, at least my experience, having seen it from center field, is that it's very straight. It's very much over the top delivery and it comes in there straight. It comes in there hard but straight. You see the batter swing through that one. We talked yesterday about our pitching situation. We don't have Kenny Wangler down here this year. That's a beautiful pitch. Nice and easy throw when we get him. Hey, great job, Billy. That's a big out, Billy. Strand's a runner at third. Comes in from center field. Strand's a runner at third. Pat Hamlin executes the throw. Plum. Hey, that's a cool and collected throw, Pat. Yeah. Clench the ball a little more tightly on that throw with the guy coming down the third base line like that.
Hey, let's keep putting pressure on him, guys. Do it quick. Get out of the way.
I'll walk through the dugout here, see what guys think.
Right now they're colder. All right.
That's right, Tommy. And we're hot. We're hot.
Tommy makes a point that Tulsa's probably struggling with this weather more than we are. Talked about that earlier. I don't know if that's true or not, but got a new pitcher. We'll check that out in a second.
Hey, new arm out there, boys.
Attaboy, Billy. Good work.
Appreciate it.
Coming in.
Good.
Literally and figuratively cold.
I was like warming up. I'm like, I'm not going to get any warmer, so let's just go.
Right.
So ridiculous up here.
What are you throwing? Fastball slider?
Fastball, curveball, changeup.
Okay.
That last pitch was I didn't throw any changes there, but that last pitch was a curveball. I tried to spike it, and it worked. So.
Have you been working on your pitching at all? I mean, as you've gotten older?
Day in, day out, all day.
Like Tom Seaver.
Right. It's just all I do. No. I pitched. Last time I was on the bump was when we pitched against the Diablos there at Northeast.
Yeah.
And I think I pitched that whole game, but I had that change was working that day too pretty good. And that Patrick was catching, so I do love throwing to Patrick. We have a good little battery going there, so we are the battery. Yes.
You got a good fastball too. You got a fastball by the plate.
If I can control it, keep it from. If I can get in the strike zone, I mean it's hittable though too. It's fairly straight, but
yeah, it is straight.
If we can mix speeds, my fear, my downfall as a pitcher has always been hitting people. So I'll probably beat somebody. Hopefully it's really hard in the elbow. That's usually my goal, even though it's not intentional. But I'm going to get somebody.
Get your money's worth when it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the pitches that came in,
it kind of tailed.
It
Yeah.
did like 3 moves.
Yeah. That last pitch that I struck out.
Okay, we're back to the top. We've got our dynamo, the igniter, Dan Casaza.
We got one guy that came with the locals. So.
You want to get somebody in there for me? Go ahead. I'm very satisfied with my performance so far.
So we were looking. I was like, all right, who's gonna get Cammy in to hit? And it was like Pat or Tom. And like, well, let's see what they did. Like, okay, they both walked and they both hit no fielder's choice. It's like that doesn't make it easy.
Yeah.
But no, you're sitting there.
All right. You heard me there, preferring not to hit. Being informed that indeed I will hit, so we'll give it another shot. Comes back around my way. I'm gonna get a score in an inning, so I'm not guessing. Do we know the score in the inning?
I think it's tied 4-4.
And what about the inning?
That's was it 5th? We might go
I'll find out.
top of 5, I believe.
Sounds about right.
Yep, top 5 score 4-4. Missed Diamond Dan. It's ball 1 to Diamond Dan. 4-4, top of 5. A blustery day in Maryville. On the way out here, we're talking about Randy called me and he asked who the best hitter's been. And, you know, we've had some strong performances. I'd say Dolly stands out. He's really scoring the ball up. It went a long way yesterday. Mike Lippert, of course, he's not in the lineup today, but playing Lippert baseball. Diamond Dan hits a ton to right field. That may get out of here. Instead, it's caught. I thought with the wind. Really nice catch. So that right fielder was playing him deep. Caught it, I would say not on a full sprint. A 3/4 sprint, kind of fell backwards as he caught it. It was a nice looking catch. You heard Dan probably. It's way down to first saying, get out of here. Like me, I think he thought between the quality of the contact and this wind that maybe you get the carry, but instead it's caught maybe 10 feet, 5 feet in front of the warning track out in right center. He hit a long way. So we have a righty on the mound. He's busy in the dugout. Did not see what kind of stuff he has.
You're in charge.
Are you in the bathroom? Okay. Gurley just informed me if we lose him to a poor breakfast choice, he's heading to the bathroom. I'm in charge.
Hey, good night.
Good eye!
Maybe greeted as along the lines of when Alexander Haig famously said when Reagan was assassinated, I'm in charge. I think he was Secretary of Defense. Bubba. That did not go over too well. I won't be making that utterance in the dugout. Declarations of control by me. Dolly bunted that straight down. I think it was off the plate. Yep. Called strike 3. Did not appeal it. He didn't go. Oh, that's about to be upset. And the umpire's defense is a tough angle, but if we're the prosecution in the case, we would point out that he has a first base umpire. I think he just said he called the strike. It'd be even worse. But he's human. Just wish he would have asked for some help. Seemed like a very nice guy though. I saw him on camera earlier, so. Nate Stark. I would describe Nate's power as alley power rather than over the fence power. I think he has the prettiest swing on the team. As a tall lefty, he has the advantage of being a tall lefty when it comes to the swing. It's a contrast in styles between Nate and Casey's on deck. Casey's very short, very quick twitch. You can tell with that swing there. Nate is very fluid. Fluid in all of his motions. Nate has a reputation of knowing a lot of things. Casey and I often joke that if there's information that we need, if there's a question that we're not sure the answer to, our inclination is to ask Nate. There's a nice hit. It's just beautiful hitting, down and away. Short. I don't say short, I would just say a fluid going the other way with that pitch. Nate usually has the answer to those questions, and it's not a Cliff Clavin. It's a well-known fact or whatever his catchphrase was. It's nothing like that. It's just he'll quietly give you the answer. You're left wondering, how did you know that? Casey Johnson. He's doesn't quite have the bat wag that he brings in the Ibex. Big swing there. I said earlier that when Casey's on, he barrels balls to left and left center. Left fielder, to me, is playing a little shallow. Maybe he's taking the wind into account. It's a high strike. A little surprised Casey swung at that. It was out of the zone, and there was a guy breaking for second. I don't think he was protecting the runner. Pitcher appears to have a pretty decent fastball. I've remarked on this before in the stream. When you get these big-bodied pitchers, sometimes I think he did, yeah. Sometimes they don't have the violence of the delivery, and it creates the illusion of less velocity than they actually have. I remember we were in Puerto Rico our first year, and the other team, Jeff Juden was on the roster. Jeff Juden was an ex-major leaguer. He was like 6'8", very large guy, and he wasn't a fire thrower. Pitched for the Phillies, I think the Yankees. So line drive to center. Dolly's going to score. Attaboy Case. Big game for Casey Johnson.
You're up! You're up!
Yeah! Big run. Boy, Case. But June was one of these guys, a giant on the mound, and he threw with so much ease that from the side it didn't look like a good fastball, but when you got in there, it just seemed to explode on you. And it was a combination of just the fluid mechanics. The fluid mechanics were what created the velocity rather than just the maximum effort. Certainly you see big pitchers, big-bodied pitchers who throw with that kind of effort. And I'm saying there's a guy like this who that's a really good fastball, even though there isn't a lot of exertion with the pitch. There's a changeup. Go, go, go! Terrible. Nate runs it out. Ground ball to number 3 at third. It appeared to hit just the palm of his mitt. I mean, it was in his glove and it just came out. That wasn't off his glove. It slapped his palm and just dribbled out. Nate Jackson beat it out.
Hey, rip one, Scotty, rip one.
Scotty Siebert.
Hey, punch the green again, Scotty.
Once again, Tulsa's finding out what Utah found out yesterday. Could probably say it about a lot of lineups down here, but there just aren't any. Normally, there aren't any fire breaks. There aren't any spots in this lineup that act as a fire break. I would say the bottom of our order today might have at least one, but certainly top through the deep middle. As usual, the Mammoths just have a lot of quality hitters. Here's another one, Scott Siebert.
Good cut. All right.
I want to claim that is what I was talking about with that fastball getting in on him faster than you might expect. See if he makes an adjustment. It's a high fastball, threw it right by him. Scott never really felt like he settled into that at bat. Okay, we got a run. It did. The sun is out. So the game started at 9:35 our time.
You got one now, though, right?
Nate Stark, one half of the brain trust, pacing the dugout. I just described him. He was one half of the brain trust, pacing the dugout.
Should I just go back to the dugout now? Because clearly
Might have a lot of decisions to make here, so a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Felt good to finally connect on one.
Beautiful piece of hitting. Down and away. You just kind of nose down into it and easy swing.
Yeah. If you point the camera up there, there's the tan roof
Yes.
next to the batter's eye.
Yes.
The ball was coming out of that.
Wow.
So it was just disappearing and then appearing. So I don't know. I just needed a little more, something like that to focus a little more.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
I'm a little surprised. I mean, professionals hit on here. Lefties must face that all the time.
It's very surprising.
Yeah. Maybe it's just up right now.
That'll stay on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You saw green or yellow.
Dan, what inning are we in? This is bottom of five?
Bottom of five.
And we're up by one?
Yep, 5-4.
5-4. Bottom of 5, 5-4. 2-1 Mammoth against the... We think the record is 1-0-1 because we think they had a rainout last night. Billy Houseman back, line drive left field. Scott Siebert out on left. Diamond Dan shifted to center. Scott's got good speed. Got over there in plenty of time. Nice hit by the Biscuit. The Tulsa Biscuits. Oh, that wind. I can't imagine how bad this audio is with that wind. So we came down here with, I would say, in terms of starting pitchers, we came down here with 3 knowns, I think, in Dahl, Matt Grill, and Nate Stark, and then some unknowns. Brian Durand, who pitched really well in relief in Game 2. We'll see him possibly next game against the Dodgers. We got Matt Van Overbeek, who tweaked his knee while throwing on the side. Not sure how much he's going to pitch. Here's a bunt. Nice pick, nice throw. Nice play, Billy. Looks like an easy play, but when you're a guy who's played center field his whole life, those motions aren't well practiced. It's like a pop-up on the infield. I've done some pitching And I'll tell you what, a pop-up on the infield is very different than a fly ball in the outfield. You'd think it wouldn't be. Came down here with 3 knowns, a couple unknowns. Brian Duran, we found is very good, I think. Matt Van Overbeek, who had good stuff, but I don't know how much we're going to see of him on the mound the rest of the way. Mark Hoyland, who threw a couple innings in relief against Lakeville. And then beyond that, we have guys like Casey Johnson, Bill Hausman, position players who come in. Billy's sharing a laugh with the batter. Ripped early in on that one. That's going to drop right in front of Bushy. Took a big swing, caught the end of the bat with it. Soft fliner to right field. Bushy had no chance. Banging his glove out there with frustration. I didn't see what happened, but I suspect he either broke back or froze on that swing. It was a big swing. End of the bat, though. 33 with a forward tilt up there. See if that creates any kind of downward swing with his bat plane, or if the load levels those shoulders out. You can see right there, he kind of leveled that half swing out. As an outfielder, the hardest balls to play are the ones that right at you. Certainly in center field. Left and right, sometimes you get the big swing. Can't see where this is. It appears that Billy going this way.
I'm sorry. I should just go get that. That's done.
Very, very tough play for Pat. Pat is normally very good with those pop-ups, but with the wind we've got today, it's a really challenging play. You heard Billy say I should have taken that. It might have been easier for Billy since the ball was coming towards Billy. Pat, of course, I turned around. This is a big swing from this hitter. It's right on that pitch. Got him out front. Foul to the left. I like Tulsa's uniform game. We've seen kind of teams with motley appearance, I guess is how I would describe it. Different uniforms. A lot of guys showing their individuality with their sock choices, including Mike Dahl, who was wearing the high socks yesterday. Pitch that's up. One brown, one yellow. He's over at third. You can see he's dropped the pants down to the ankles. Let me restate that. He doesn't have the high pants. Let's put it on high socks. Let's just go with that and quietly move on. Ball 4, Billy snaps the glove, snaps the ball down in frustration. He went off speed on that last pitch. I think he was hoping to catch enough of the plate, maybe get him out front. I believe the score is 5-4, and I believe we're in the bottom of 5. Mammoth up. Not sure how this hitter has fared. One of these years I'm going to bring a It's a ground ball to short. There should be two. Really easy throw. Really is so solid. He's so steady and short. He's so sure-handed. He's so accurate with the throw. He's so smooth with his feet. It's big out. I can hear Billy apologizing to Pat.
But it kept pushing.
Yeah, I'm used to him coming back in play and like pushing it out.
We haven't seen much of Bushy. Let's go, Diamond.
Hey, couple runs now. Let's
I got the best seat in the house. I just get out of the way for him.
All right.
I suppose I'll stay out there just in case.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big.
Well, now the sun's out. I want to go out there now.
How we doing, Bushy?
Doing pretty good, bud. Pretty good.
I saw you on that fly ball out there. Did you break back a little? He took a big swing. Was it hard to read the one that fell? You weren't going to get there. But...
I was debating it for a second off the bat. I was like, I was coming in, but I was like, man, as I was getting closer and the ball was kind of like hooking a little bit, I was like, if I lay out and miss it, it's probably rolling back into like corner.
It was end of the bat, so he didn't barrel it.
No,
it was kind of one of those.
No,
those
if it would have hung up just like a hair more, if it wouldn't have been breaking so much like away from me. Because if I lay out for that one, like the next person that's going to get it is like Czak going from center. So it's,
Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't hang up more.
yeah,
I know you're playing.
I was
that's
this close to like it was that last one where it's like you get that last stride and just flail yourself out as far as you can go, or you hit the brakes and wait for it to come back.
No, I know. Yeah, I was just surprised because based on what was happening out there.
Well, the way you hit it too, you got like out in front of it, and you kind of like it came out, and then it started kind of like hooking and dying towards the line. That's just nothing but trouble on.
Oh no,
like
if you boot it or something and push it towards then you're screwed. No, it was a good play.
But it was close. I was debating. I was really close to taking that last lunge and just throwing myself out at it, but. You got to pick the moments.
I didn't think you had a play on it at all. So.
Yeah.
All right, I'm up third. I got to bat third this inning. Give this to Casey. Doesn't seem to mind. Probably a little bit more play-by-play than you got from Tommy.
Yeah, there's water and Gatorade.
I feel like I have a little Rob Jones going with the collar and.
You do.
I was playing with it in the bathroom. You know,
do.
Playing it with the bat, and I just was like, hey, a little ode to Rob.
Well done.
All right, Dan Smolik singled in his last at bat. Did a nice job of going down and getting something that looked like it was on the outside part of the plate, and just kind of hammered it to short into the gap. Got a ball behind the pitcher. Comes in handy if you can do a little hidden ball trick. We're going with the Dan Smolik, Dan Kamrath combination to start off the inning here. And Dan pushes one down the right field side. Off the recess. We need a little fuzz on the end of this. Sometimes I put a koozie on the end of the phone to muffle the wind. Yeah. Let's see, I can cup my hand around the end of it. Sorry for the shakiness, but see if I can do that. Maybe that helps the wind. I don't know. I don't even know how bad it is. What we gotta have is earbuds. So that is into the gap, hung up long enough for the left fielder to make a nice diving catch out there for the first out of the inning. Kamrath. Kamrath is a hard-hitting, high exit velocity batter, and he's got some pull to him based on my experience with him. So shortstop's playing at a good depth right now it's almost as if he has him scouted. He's into the grass and left, but I still think he's going to pull it through the hole between third and short. He's a strong man. Dan's my age, 43 years old. Looks like I got work emails coming through. I don't know if you guys see those. Got to figure out how to put that on Do Not Disturb. So I went outside to try to get that one, try to go with it. And the pitch was elevated a bit, so he swung under it. Tom G. I'm going to slide over a little bit. Mr. Casaza there is one of our fans. He's a good fan of ours. Comes to a lot of games. Comes on trips. Yeah, of course, he's got a fun son to watch play baseball. Hammer something here, Tom. For what Tom lacks in confidence, he makes up for in line drives to left field.
All right.
And he didn't get enough of it to get it over the shortstop. 1, 2, 3. Dan, Tom. Three letter guys. Wasn't bad. Just got in on you?
Yeah. Quick, man.
Yeah.
Playing on the stream like a big guy like that, it doesn't, from the side, it doesn't think it's throwing hard.
Absolutely. Yeah. I felt it when I was up to bat.
Yeah. I got the hands between the ball, but I knew I was going to have a problem getting the barrel down through, far enough up. Got it right above the hands.
You just spin on that and smash that thing to left. That's what you do. Yeah.
Well, off the bat, I thought maybe I got enough of it that I'd get it over the shortstop, but not enough. That's okay. You heard me saying to Casey, it's exactly that fastball that just seems to have hop on it. Not a lot of arm velocity, but a lot of ball velocity. Those first two pitches, I was ready to swing, but had I swing, I was going to be behind. So that third pitch that I swung at, I was really thinking short, quick. Kept the hands tight. I stayed connected. I was just a little behind it. Just didn't get the barrel out in front of the plate. But that's okay, Didn't strike out. If you're scoring that, you probably have to call that a line drive. I mean, you can't call the fly ball, right? There's no way you can call it a ground ball. Rob Jones would find a way to call that a ground ball. But tonight, when I'm in the hot tub, two things. I'll have something to talk about tonight. And when the guys say, yeah, well, how'd you do, Tom? And then I'll say, well, I was 0 for 2 with a walk, but, I lined out. And then I'll let that sit and see if the guys give each other a side eye, see if they'll let that go. I'll report back tomorrow. We've been having hot tub issues, which is just enraged Casey. Nate never gets enraged. More consternation. But we can't get the hot tub above like 94. So I moved to the bottom of 6. I believe I know it's a 1-run game. Mammoth up by 1, maybe 5-4. I'm not doing a good job keeping inning and score updates out. I'll try to do that. Last game we had the scoreboard to look at. Back on the side field, that is hammered to left, and it is. Oh, he called it fair. It's probably a double. Yeah. He's got the gait of I would say an old farm horse. I suspect he was fast as a filly. Now he spends his days pulling clouds. He isn't going to get to third base. That was very, very close. Had the hook, hit it hard, had a hook. Looked like it might have shot up a little bit of the white chalk. Tough call for that home plate ump. No complaints though. And on second, nobody out. There's a hard bunt. Casey charging. Nice play. That was a stabbing bunt. I think his intention was to bunt it by the pitcher and then use his speed to get to first. He was fast. He really motored down the line. Got the guy to third though. And that third one out, 1-run game.
Here you go, Billy.
So I will say I was expecting, based on what I saw when these guys played Lakeville, I think I was expecting a little bit more of a dynamic offense.
Good spot.
Again, you know, how guys look in a uniform can be so deceptive. You see these big guys and you just imagine
All the way. Here we go.
you're going to tee off. And I mean, they put some good swings on the ball. That double was probably one of the hard hit balls we've seen this tournament. So, but we're up by 1. We're very competitive.
Nice job, Bill.
We're pretty deep in our staff. Billy Gamer out there working both sides. Shakes off Pat. Fastball. Oh.
That away, girl.
Really, he was shading up the
Nice
middle.
job, girl. Good job, Billy.
You saw Billy kind of reach out for it with his bare hand, then let it through.
Come on.
Greeley was right there. So steady. Looked the runner back at third. Is that 2? What was the first one? Oh yeah, that's right. 2 outs. The bunt out and now the ground out. Big at bat. The rain has dissipated. I've seen a little bit of blue sky up there, so I think that worry is gone. 1-run game in and third. There's a shot foul down the first base line. I like Billy's demeanor out there, his deportment. He seems it doesn't seem to be a lot of indecision with his pitch selections. I've seen him shake off a couple pitches. I think he has a sense of how he wants to attack these hitters. Takes the side, winds, deals. Curveball off the plate. Pitch, ball 4.
It's all right.
2 outs. Mammoth up by 1. Top of 6. I don't think this guy's hit before. I don't remember him. I don't know if we're not. Are we losing one play? Not really paying attention to what's on the screen here. That's better. I've been told that some people. That looked off the plate, but he got the call. I've been told that some people watch Diamond's stream. Dan Casaza has a stream going on behind home plate, and they listen to this commentary, which is what I would do if I enjoyed listening to my commentary, which I don't. But you're going to get a much better view.
Here we go, Billy.
I do think, one thing that I would like to see more of with the Cardinals stream is some of what's going on in the dugouts in between innings. Like if I was watching this game, come on, Greeley, just convert. Easy throw to second.
Great job, Bill.
There's a ground ball that never left the turf, just rolled along the turf like a, I don't know, like he was lawn bowling. I was saying one thing that I would like to see more of with the Cardinals stream, and I know why they don't do it. They're actually playing baseball, but what I'm doing right now, which is walking through the dugout, just it's fun to listen in, especially when you know the guys, hear what the guys are saying. Bushy. Sadly, we can't.
You were coming in hard, bro.
Remove the burp.
You're in my hand.
Did you see that? I fell
stream.
down on my back.
I didn't. Tommy, wardrobe change?
Yeah.
Son,
Yeah, I had all my momentum forward, and
See, Casey is sporting a collar.
buddy.
Huh?
We see that Casey's sporting a collar.
Christy Mathewson.
Yeah,
Rob
it's-
Jones.
Yeah.
Rob C. Jones.
It's not as wildly inappropriate as some of Rob's attire. Rob
This-
comes
Does
fashionable.
this make it more Rob?
Yes. Rob comes fashionably dressed, but also wildly inappropriately dressed for a baseball game. I think one of the reasons he does it is he knows it bothers me.
Everybody at home, it's time to put in your rally chews. You have seeds, you finish them. Come back in about an inning. Come check out what I got in.
Hey, how's the arm? What happened?
Oh, stinger.
Yeah?
Yep, so everything's feeling great, Cloud 9, mechanics are good. So in true Nate fashion, I don't throw as hard as I used to, but it's feeling good, so I thought I'd ramp it up. Threw a fastball in the outside corner, felt a little something, pulled the string of a changeup, the rest is history. Love being 40, it's great. 2 shoulder surgeries and shit like that. Sorry, excuse my language, but
You were doing a really nice job. I mean, you were just, keeping these guys off balance.
Yeah.
Working the zone.
that's and throwing a lot of changeups. And if you
Yeah.
know me as a pitcher, I don't throw a lot of changeups.
Yeah.
So, I'm in my 40s now, so I think it's changeup, super change, kind of like that Ryan Lutzke guy does. He's very successful doing that at 35 plus. So I think I'm gonna pick up on some of that. So maybe super change, a couple Coors Lights, and we'll do this.
Matt, go ahead. Just gonna hit your spot.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for those 3 at-bats. Really fun. It was fun. It was fun.
We'll be ready next game.
I will
It's
be.
your game
I
over
will
next
be.
game.
It was fun. All right, let's go catch a Billy.
Come on, Bill!
There you go, Bill. Good work.
Talked last inning about this pitcher's pace in terms of his fastball. It's Billy's first shot at him, I believe. We'll see if he's on time with his swing. Nope. Behind.
Hey, shake it off. Way to swing. A little up.
Billy motioning him. That pitch was probably at his forehead. Does the pitcher notice that? Maybe.
Here you go, Bill. Good hitter.
I think if I had noticed that, I would have gone low and away. And once I got to 2 strikes, I would have thrown that elevated fastball again. I mean, if he just keeps throwing it up there, at some point, Billy's going to adjust. But that's 2 in a row. We'll see if we get a third. Yep. Pitcher decided an elevated fastball is the way. I guess just throw it up there until Billy doesn't chase. Diamond Dan.
Come on, Nate. Hey, let's go.
Big at bat right here.
Big at bat right here.
Let's go, Dan. Have some fun, huh?
See, the right fielder is very deep. The wind has died down with that rain moving out. There's still a breeze, as I say, and it picks up, but it's gusting. Yep. He's really working the top part of the zone with that fastball. Mammoth up by 1. This must be top. Is this top of 7, Dan? Top of 7.
That away, Dan.
Good eye, Dan.
Let's get you on base, kid. Here we go. Good at bat. Here we go.
I am out of the game now, so I will take this thing all the way home.
Good cut.
Good cut.
It's the one that sawed me off. Slipped it by Dan.
Come on, you're due.
I think every one of these hitters has experienced what I experienced. Fastball gets on you faster than you're expecting. That's
That
just a
away,
good
Dan.
fastball.
Good at bat. Good at bat, kid.
Up there. Let's go. Wait for it to bring it down here, Dan. Put it in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Good at bat,
That away,
Dan.
Great at bat.
That's it.
Dan is such a weapon on the bases.
Let's go, Mike.
He's 40 years old and he hasn't lost much of his speed, if any of his speed. I've told him before that it will go because I used to be very fast and now I don't know if I beat my mom in a foot race. Mom's probably watching. I hope the cat's doing okay, Mom. Dolly.
All right.
Strike 1. Man on first, 1 out. Top of the 7th. Mammoth up by 1. 6-5. Maybe 5-4. Let's call it 6-5. No, I think we're up by 1, right? Dan, we're up by 1? We're up by 1? Oh, it's tied?
I think it's 5-5.
Jesus. One job.
Right away.
I've been told that the score is tied 5-5. Okay, that makes this even bigger. Diamond swipes second base. Good throw doesn't get him, I don't think.
Find some green out there. Let's go.
Catcher looked back at Diamond Dan. Dan gave him the thumbs up as if to say, I'm okay. Quiet game today in terms of chatter. There's two teams playing baseball. I was told by, I think Nate, I heard somebody say after the Utah game that a lot of really good dudes on Utah yesterday. We had an issue with one of their players, but as is usually the case with these teams, 99% of the guys are just kind of the hearty, well-met approach to the fellowship down here. I mean, everybody treats everybody else with respect and good humor. This fastball just threw it by Dolly. Feeling better and better about my little hand jam shot to the shortstop with every one of these guys. I mean, to be clear, I'd rather they be squaring these balls up. I don't mind being the worst hitter on the
Find some
team.
green out there. Here we go.
Come on, Nate. Nate had a nice hit last at bat.
Good take.
Took something off there. Possibly because I thought that was actually the pitch on the same pitch, but on the other side of the plate that Nate took to left last time. I know it wasn't one of his high, hard fastballs. Bringing the ball down against Nate, I mean, he doesn't know this, but I would, if there's one hitter I would elevate the fastball against, it would be Nate.
Go, Nate. Your pitch.
Like a lot of lefties, I think he prefers that ball down and in. Talked before about how Nate's approach is a little bit more, I don't want to call it longer because that's generally a criticism, a negative.
I could use some hardcore hip-hop rap in my ears right now to get me jacked.
Good cut.
There's a group of us that go to Mike Sante's Arden Hills batting cage every Friday night, and we do the hit tracks. And Rob Jones has a playlist, which I enjoy. It's eclectic, but it's softer stuff. It just drives Casey crazy. He wants something that's going to pump him up. You saw that. Wow. Oh my God. That's an atrocious miss by both catchers, by both umpires. I don't know if you saw that, but that was a ball that just was right on Nate's hands. And I don't know. It appeared to me like Nate basically, I could see his hands from here. Barrel appeared to cross the plate of the plate, but he gets the ball call from both of them. So it's another shot. And that's a ball. Ball four.
Let's go, Fiver.
Anyway, to finish the thought, we listen to music as we're hitting, and Casey and I have different tastes in music, at least when we're hitting baseballs. Casey wants what you would normally get, what's normally considered music to pump you up. I'd be good with some Tony Bennett. Ball in the dirt. Diamond comes way back. Diamond was well off second base, looking for any reason at all to break for third. We talked yesterday about there's an advantage to getting to third base on the amateur level that you don't have in the major league level because of the higher currents of pass balls and wild pitches. Even though Diamond Dan's in scoring position here, in the major leagues, there's not a huge advantage getting to third base because pass balls and wild pitches really aren't part of that game. It's a much bigger part of this game. So if Dan can steal the base, I don't think he'll steal here. Casey's one guy who's so short to the ball that I think he's going to get around on this fastball. Nice pitch. That was an off-speed pitch off the plate. First and second, 2 outs, bases loaded. This pitcher's striking out a lot of us. Need Casey to find a barrel here. A single scores 1, double scores 2. Casey already with an inside the park home run this game. fastball right up the
Never
shin.
know, never know. Never
I don't
know.
think it's going to be dropping. Oh, that's so unfortunate. The pitcher gave up on it. The pitcher was basically walking towards first base. And the third baseman really broke late for the ball. Somewhere in that sequence, the pitcher realized that third baseman was not going to catch the ball. Sadly for us, the ball was still within reach. He gloved it. That would have been a break. So the game stays tied. We move to the bottom of the 7th. Game's going on behind us. I believe that's a 65 league over there. 60 and older, maybe. Be doing that in a couple of years. Maybe I'll just keep doing this. I don't know. Next year I got a tough decision to make because the 35 tournament is a week before the 45, and I'd like to start playing in the 45 tournament. This year I could have come down here with a 35 group, stayed with the guys in the house and played in the 45 tournament because they overlap. Next year they're back-to-back weeks, so if I want to come down here and do this and play, I'm going to have to take 2 weeks off of work, which is be aggressive. But I would really miss coming down here. I've said this so many times on these, what feels like dozens of streams I've done now, but the older I get, the more it's about the relationships and the less it's about baseball. So, I feel this, I still have this desire to play more down here, not on this level because I think it's passed me by, but on a higher level. But if the price is that I can't come down here and hang out with the guys and even do this, which I enjoy doing,
Go, Bill.
I don't know how I'm going to make that decision, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. We are going to have some streams in January. I'll talk about that maybe between innings here. So we're getting deep into the game. It's a tie game. Facing a pitcher who's throwing really hard. The ability to keep battling out here. There is a scenario where we can get the 1 seed. Actually, I don't know anymore because we had a rain out. But there's 5 teams in this tournament. To the extent that the 3 best teams are us, Tulsa, this team we're playing now, and Lakeville. I think the Bandits team, while they have some really good hitters, I don't think they're going to have the pitching because they just don't have the roster size unless they had reinforcements come in. At any rate, as of right now, I'd say the 3 best teams are us, Tulsa, and Lakeville. 3 of them. Pretty tough hop. Really stays down on it, makes the throw. That was a tough hop. Did a really nice job. I'm sure you couldn't see it here, but it was a slow chopper. In the last hop, I could tell Grilly was pretty tense, and I could tell he didn't know where that ball was going to go. He kind of made a very small adjustment as the ball was leaving the ground and heading towards his glove, and he got his mitt on it, and then once it's in glove, Grilly's hand, you can count on a strong throw to first, and he did that. So 1 out. Foul ball. I was saying I think the 3 best teams from what we've seen are us, Tulsa, and Lakeville. 4 teams make the tournament, so you really want to be that 1 seed because you're going to get, if there is a gap between the top 3 and the next 2, and I think there may be, you only got to go through 1 of the top 3. If you're the 2nd or the 3rd seed, obviously, you're going to get both. You're going to see 2 of the top 3 teams. And I think it's going to be difficult for us to get the top seed. It's a foul ball, I believe. She runs a long way, can't track it down. There was a path for us, I think, had there not been the rain out last night, but with the rain out. I won't even speculate. I think the likeliest, there's a chance we don't make the playoffs as well. I think that's unlikely, but it's still possible. I think if we make the playoffs, the likeliest scenario is we're the 2 or the 3 seed. And we'll have to go through the 2 best teams other than us. But we'll see.
Just missed.
I saw that the Grays dropped one yesterday. Bruins, too, are struggling a little bit. Billy took a lot off on that one. I think that's his changeup, and that's a changeup that is a kind of drag the arm changeup as opposed to the protonation, the classic circle changeup. Just slows his arm down. Ooh, we got bumped. Billy's gonna said sorry, man. I think that really hurt. Got him in the knee. Having a chat down at first. Very different from yesterday. Yesterday that might have been rather than a tap on the head, maybe a kidney punch. It will be interesting to play Utah again. So the weather is a couple hours. What the atmosphere in that game will be like. That's a shot to right that gets through. I think runners holding up at second base. It's hard to run with a cracked kneecap. I think Billy hit it pretty hard. First and second, I believe, one out. Wind is picking up again. It's cold. I feel like this is maybe the first year I can complain about the weather because it's actually warmer in Minneapolis right now. Yeah, this is 45. I remember this guy.
Stay down, Billy.
Has not let himself go. Fighting trim. Kind of a coiled Yuli Gurriel a little bit. Coiled up there, high hands. Big at bat here, first and second tie ball game. Good hitter at the plate, another good hitter on deck. Big boys. Good take. Good spot with that fastball. Working the outer half on this guy. I don't know that Bill has a pitch he can come in with. I mean, if he's going to come in with that fastball, he's got to bring it off the plate. Under the hands and make sure he doesn't catch too much of the play because I think that guy was ready to just turn and burn on one. So now we have another giant coming to the plate. Even bigger if possible. An ant. I shouldn't use the word ant to describe someone because I've used that before to describe John Wonderski. John retired this year from Federal League. Everyone's sad to see him go. You know, John was a man of few words, but he came down with the Lumberjacks one year. And bases loaded. Tie score. Pass ball. It's going to score. Might be the first pass ball we've seen today. I think Pat's going to be disappointed with that. Pitch was in the dirt, but I think Pat would tell you he could have blocked it. Anyway, we came down with John Wonderski one year. That was the year he actually hurt his bicep, and I think John would tell you just could never get the power back. I think he detached his bicep on that trip. At any rate, at the end of the trip, the team presented Kenny and I each with a bat. Everyone autographed it, just basically thanking us for managing the team. Here's a pop-up straight up. This is going to come back, I think. Pat's under it. Play up. Nice catch. Beautiful play. I was talking about how Pat is good at those. Fought the wind. Nearly concussed himself, I think. Caught the ball. Batter steps in. Has some complimentary words for Pat on that play. Anyway, the Lumberjacks presented Kenny Knights with a bat, and I found out after the fact that it was John Wadersky who kind of organized that. And I've never forgotten that. It was he didn't have to do that. So that's actually the only, not that Kenny ever wanted or expected anything like that, but that was the only time we were presented with anything by the team. And the fact that John Wadersky went out of his way to organize that. Sad to see John hang him up. There's a deep fly to left. I don't think he's got this. He's got this. Scotty Sievert. I think the wind may have helped us out there. He really barreled that. Big out. But well struck by number 2. Can feel good about that. We can feel good about that catch. You're kind of off in the head, so maybe that'll knock you back on.
Right. Yeah. To rearrange things a little. Yeah. What's that? I hit my head. I don't know on what, but yeah.
You can't scramble it anymore up there, so maybe we can scramble it. What? No, I'm not batting. Someone's batting for me. I think.
Very freaking play. What is Bill doing? I'm not missing this one. Great play. Where Bill is? That was the dickest thing. That was his ball. He was 8 feet away from you, watching you go like this as the ball's traveling directly towards him.
A couple of catchers talking the trade.
Just feel bad for Pat. He's out there. Yeah.
Making catches. I don't know. That was Ben. That's real.
How are we feeling, Dan? Have you faced this guy yet?
Yeah, I felt really good against him.
He's got his.
I fouled 2 off, and then I hit that one that I just missed the barrel. The guy made a giant catch.
You're one guy, I think, who hasn't been surprised by the fastball. A lot of guys are late on this.
I felt fine the first at bat against him.
Good.
I'm excited to get another job.
6-5, top of 8. Mammoth down by 1. Had a good game, win or lose. I like the way these guys go about their business, this Tulsa team. Just quietly go about their business. Mammoth down by 1. We go to the top of the 8th, 6-5. Pitcher on the mound has struck out a number of Mammoth. Pretty good fastball. I think some of these guys are getting their second crack at him now, so we'll see if get the hands on top of that fastball maybe. High strike call. This guy definitely likes to work the high part of the zone. It's like somebody's warming up out down the third baseline. Curveball, lace to right field, base hit. Right fielder charges, thinking about throwing to first, but he did not have a chance. Great hit by Nate. I expect that from Nate Jackson. I expect good at bats from him every time. Scotty Sievert. Scott's parents are down here. Might be some of those huddled fingers behind home plate. Got him in the hands. Brought that one way up and in. Hit the knob of the bat underneath his bottom hand. It's an unfortunate strike. Got the side over down there. You can
Hey, good at bat. Let's go.
This guy's Come on, Scotty. I think that was when he could have hit. So many of his fastballs have been up. That ball appeared to catch a lot of the plate and was slightly above the knees. 1-2. Elevate. This could be 2. Nice scoop by the first baseman. They convert the double play. It's unfortunate. They erased the lead of the runner. They quietly turned that double play. Pretty quiet reaction from their bench. It strikes me as a team that's played together a lot. They're accustomed to success. So not like the Mammoth.
Way to get loose.
Come on, Dan. Dan Smolik, my roommate this year. My housemate, not my roommate. Dan and I did some fishing last night and again this morning. Caught some bass. One of these fishing episodes was over pitch. Dan didn't like that call. Down 2 strikes.
It only takes one out.
One of these mornings or nights, I think I'm going to live stream like 5 minutes of the fishing and then.
More people on your stream than I do.
Well, you and I are kind of, my understanding is you and I are kind of a team.
Synergistic, but we are.
Yeah.
It's Diamond.
Diamond Vision.
Popeye's Diamond Vision.
You got to call it Diamond Vision. And if you're not, you've got to do it. Yeah.
No, but I mean, obviously, people love your commentary. My
Well-
wife was commenting last night. She's like, he was saying stuff about the catcher and how much of an asshole he was, and how much he doesn't know who he's getting into. With me,
No, he doesn't. Like,
I was laughing.
I don't know if you noticed, but that guy was eyeballing.
Oh no, I noticed.
I mean, just giving you the
staring
death
at me.
stare.
'Cause-
Like when you get up to the plate, he was just studying you.
He was doing it at third. He was doing it using the bench. He's staring at me. Here's the thing. No, it was bothering him, but I didn't give a shit about that guy.
Yeah. Saw Dan wave at a pitch off the plate for strike 3. Pitch has been very good. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, down by 1. We're gonna have one more shot. It's gonna have to be the bottom of the lineup. Randy asked me what the keys to the game were, and one of them I mentioned was that I don't want to call it the B squad, but maybe some of the deeper half of the roster, the back end of the roster, was going to have to perform today because we had to get guys like me in the game in order to get them playoff eligible. And I think we're going to see some of those back end guys next inning. Hopefully we can get something going. Dan and I were talking about the catcher yesterday. That second pitch, Dan, the second pitch you weren't too happy with.
What's that?
That second pitch, you thought it was a ball. The players over here. Yeah.
Yep. It was definitely in, and it was cutting in. I don't think it was right.
Yeah.
The first pitch I swung out by a pitch to hit.
Yeah. Hey, nice hit, Nate.
Rally true. Told you I'd be back. Still can hit the ball, so that's good.
Well, I mean,
probably should have tried stole. Let's see if I could have hurt myself some more.
That catcher,
break up that double play.
That catcher was, he's good.
Yeah, you know, the
probably
pitcher
would not have gone well.
The pitcher is slow at plate, but I'm slow too, so that offsets. And then the catcher's kind of a stud, one of the better ones we've seen. So we're just gonna let that take its place and let it happen.
Yeah, you're one of the few guys who's gotten around on his fastball. Like his
That's not a
fastball.
fastball.
You don't think that's not a fastball? You're accustomed to better fastballs.
You know, we saw Mayer, so everything's slow now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, you're right. I mean, that's.
We see Mayer, later in the week, then it's like 100.
was referring to Matt Meyer. I mean, he's right. There's the Matt Meyer fastball, and then there's everything else. We had a really nice game against Lakeville. Tori commented at the end of it how I would say the two teams have kind of deviated. They've kind of strayed off the path of camaraderie a little bit. There's been a little bit of chatter on Twitter after some of our games. You know, when you're two evenly matched teams like we are and you find yourself playing in big games a lot, some of that is natural, I think. But the game we had down here, it's a pop-up, a lot of wind. Casey's under it, calls it about 13-inning game. We lost 2-1. But it was just really well played. A lot of respect on both sides. Talked a lot after the game. We were kind of intermingling behind the Tempe, the clover fields they have down there, kind of the community area in the center. We were all talking. It's a line drive to right. That's a base hit. Good hit. And Tori mentioned how we've kind of gotten away a little bit from that camaraderie and felt like we moved back in that direction after that game, which is great. And then first one out, top of 9. Bottom of 8. Lumberjacks. Sorry, Mammoth down by 1. 6-5 Tulsa. Bottom of 8. Man on first one out. Billy Hausman on the mound. Billy's thrown maybe 3 innings now. Doing a really nice job keeping this game close for us. So Billy, I think, was robbed of a strike. And I think the umpire decided he better call that one a strike. The proverbial makeup call. The umpire's got a little bit of a punch, I would say. Kind of curled over the poached egg of that gut, I would say he looks like the number 6. Very nice man, though. And I don't like to make light of body shapes because as a middle-aged man myself, I know you're going to regret that because you're going to look like that. It's hard to stay in shape, man. He seemed like a good guy. He came over earlier and said he loves Minnesota, so we love him back. Ground ball. Oh, Billy. Showing his athleticism. Nice throw to Grilly. Grilly, of course, fires a strike to Nate Stark. Nice play, Billy. Okay. Expect we'll see a little bit of pep here as the team prepares for its last at-bat, hoping to score a run.
Let's go. Hey, now the time. Let's go. Now set. Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's get it here. Come on now.
Hey, nice. Hey, let's hit, boys. Come on. Let's go. One run. Let's get that front back. Let's go. Let's get that run. Here you go, boys. Let's put it up. Put it up. Let's get it. Hey, one run. One run. Let's go. Start. Let's go, boys. 2 runs.
Hey, Billy, athletic play out there.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You got off the ground.
Did I get high?
Yeah.
Like this?
For men our age, just leaving the ground is an accomplishment. No, you got
I reached up pretty high. I was like, oh, that went in my glove. Yeah, I think took a high hop. That was cool.
Really
and then
nice.
the ball got stuck in my glove, actually, for a second. It like went deep into the web.
Well, then you made that throw. I said the same thing when you fielded that bunt. Those motions we're accustomed to as outfielders, right?
No. Just a guy who plays outfield on the mound. That's all. Whatever. Let's go win this game, huh?
Let's do it.
Am I up 34?
Who's Matt? Who are you batting for?
20. So I think
He's batting for me. There's a spot after me, yeah. I think. I don't know. Keep out of this. See number 22, Mike Lippert, taking some warm-up cuts. Mike had the game off. Getting a pinch hit appearance. This wind.
Guys, it's nasty. The wind's nasty. Let's go. Let's be nasty too, huh? Come on, man. Let's go.
Let's go, boys!
I am freezing. I have a sweatshirt I'm going to put on. Looks like we got another squall blowing in. I'm going to put my sweatshirt on. Give me a second. Yeah, we got some rain coming in right now. Hold on.
Hey, Bushy. Bushy. What do you call this?
All right, let me go.
Go. See your dad do something, huh?
I think they call something like this in the desert. It starts with a D, like a dirt. I feel like Nate's mom, if she's listening. Is he flagging right? It's going to be caught though. Right fielder. He's camped under it. Liv squared it up to right center. They're playing deep out there. And the right fielder didn't catch nothing. It's going to be easy. No easy catches with this wind. It's one down. We'll stick around a little bit after the game. Oh, that's out of play behind us. We play again. I believe 1:30 our time. I'm not exactly sure when, but we'll get this stream running. Oh, this is awful. Freezing. I'm actually shaking. It's cold. This is the worst weather we've seen so far today. You can't go that way. The umpire's noticing the weather. It's hard to miss it. Just to get out of here. Ground ball left side. It's in the hole. Backhanded it, made it. Ran over Miko. Gotta get out of this wind. Got 2 outs.
Not you, Grilly. Come on, kid.
Go, Gray! Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
2 outs. Mackerel at the plate, down by 1. Top of 9.
Hey, wait ahead. Let's go.
I know you can't see anything, but I gotta get out of that wind.
Look at this whisper. Look at it work. Look at this thing. It's bubbling.
Feels like it's gonna start snowing here. Ground ball. Shortstop charges. Fields throws it around. They let him. It's 3. That's a ball game. That's quick. Feels like these guys deserve the handshake and the stand. No stolen valor today. Nice game, guys. Hey, great game. Great game. Nice game. Nice game. Really nice game. Well done, guys. Good game. Nice game. Nice game, guys. Good game. Nice game. windscreen. Oh my goodness. So Mammoth fall to the Tulsa Biscuits. Mammoth fall to the Tulsa Biscuits 6-5 in the middle of a squall. We have a little time, I think, between now and our next game. When do we start again? When's our next game?
1:30. What time is it right now?
I don't know, Dan.
I'll check in a minute.
At any rate, we have another game. I guess I heard someone say an hour and a half. We'll be back online. Normally I would stick around and talk to the guys, but it's really cold. So I think I'm going to sign off now. Thanks everybody for watching. I think we got up to 20 viewers, which might be a stream record, I'm not sure. But thanks for watching. I always appreciate seeing that there's people watching, not just talking into the wind.
I want to be in
Literally in
Minnesota
this
right
case.
now.
So, thanks for watching. Mammoth dropped to 2-2. Got 2 more games to try to get that record above 500. So we will be back. So everyone.
One more game and we clinch.